I'm sure you've heard the news about the midnight caller, but what if I told you the truth is even more chilling than the headlines? It was just after midnight when the phone rang at the emergency dispatch center. A woman's voice, panicked, trembling, whispered through the static. "He's here. I can hear him. He's inside." And then the line went dead. By the time the police arrived at the upscale suburban home, the silence was deafening. The door was unlocked, the lights inside still on, casting an eerie glow over the living room. Detective Sarah Pierce, a seasoned investigator known for her sharp instincts, stepped cautiously into the house. Her hand hovered near her gun as she scanned the room. There, on the white marble floor, lay the body of a woman, face down, her dark hair spread out like a fan. She had been brutally strangled, the marks on her neck deep and angry. The house was eerily clean. No signs of struggle, no overturned furniture. Just the lifeless figure of Amanda Hayes, a 34-year-old real estate agent, lying in the center of it all. Pierce's eyes immediately focused on the one detail that stood out. A single black glove left next to Amanda's hand. It was deliberate, placed carefully. Whoever had killed her wanted to send a message. As the forensic team arrived and began their work, Pierce learned from Amanda's neighbors that she had been living alone for the past year, following a messy divorce from her husband, Tom Hayes. The two had split under bitter circumstances, with allegations of infidelity and threats flying in both directions. The divorce had been finalized months ago, but Tom had refused to move on. Pierce's first instinct was to find Tom. His history of violence, especially towards Amanda, made him the prime suspect. When they located him at his apartment across town, Tom seemed strangely calm, even as Pierce informed him of Amanda's death. "I didn't kill her," Tom said, his voice devoid of emotion. "We had our issues, sure, but I haven't seen Amanda in weeks." Pierce wasn't convinced. His lack of grief felt off, almost rehearsed. But without any solid evidence tying him to the scene, she had no choice but to let him go, for now. Over the next few days, the investigation turned up very little. There were no witnesses, no signs of forced entry, and no DNA left behind except for Amanda's. But the black glove, that was something Pierce couldn't let go of. It was a symbol, something intentional, but what? She delved deeper into Amanda's life, piecing together the details that could explain who might want her dead. That's when she stumbled upon something interesting. In the months following her divorce, Amanda had started seeing someone new, a man named Daniel Grant. He was charming, wealthy, and seemed too perfect, almost like he'd walked straight out of a magazine. But Pierce's gut told her there was more to Daniel than met the eye. Daniel had an alibi for the night of the murder. He had been attending a charity gala in the city, surrounded by dozens of witnesses. But something about him seemed off. He was too polished, too calculated in his responses when questioned about Amanda. "She was an incredible woman," Daniel said smoothly when Pierce visited his office. "We were happy together. I can't imagine who would want to hurt her." But Pierce could feel the undertone in his words. He was hiding something. She decided to dig deeper into Daniel's past and uncovered a startling revelation. Daniel had been married once before, and his ex-wife had died under mysterious circumstances. The case had been ruled an accident, but there had been whispers, unconfirmed rumors that Daniel was somehow involved. With renewed focus, Pierce went back to the scene of the crime, replaying the events in her mind. The unlocked door, the calm setting, the black glove. It all felt staged. Someone had wanted it to look like an intruder had broken in, but everything was too controlled, too perfect. That night, Pierce received a call. It was Daniel. "I think we need to talk," he said, his voice low and tense. "I have something to show you." Cautiously, Pierce agreed to meet him at his downtown penthouse. When she arrived, Daniel was waiting, holding a small black box. Inside was the matching glove to the one found at the crime scene. "I found this in my car this morning," Daniel said, his hands trembling slightly. "I swear, I didn't kill Amanda. Someone's setting me up." Pierce's mind raced. If Daniel was telling the truth, then someone else had planted the glove. But who? As she left Daniel's building, Pierce received an urgent call from the lab. They had finally lifted a partial fingerprint from the black glove found at the scene. It didn't belong to Amanda, and it didn't match Tom or Daniel. It belonged to a man named Ryan Miller, a private investigator hired by Tom Hayes to follow Amanda during the divorce. Pierce tracked down Ryan, who initially denied everything. But after hours of intense interrogation, the truth finally came out. Tom had hired Ryan to scare Amanda, to intimidate her into coming back to him. But when Amanda refused to be frightened, Tom's desperation grew. He instructed Ryan to break into her house, to leave the glove as a warning. But something had gone horribly wrong. Amanda had confronted Ryan, and in the heat of the moment, he had strangled her. Ryan confessed, but Pierce knew Tom was the mastermind. He had orchestrated everything from the shadows, using Ryan as his puppet. With Ryan's testimony, Tom was arrested and charged with Amanda's murder. As Tom was led away in handcuffs, his expression remained cold, emotionless, as though Amanda had been nothing more than a piece in his twisted game of control. Detective Sarah Pierce stood by the window of her office later that night, staring out into the city. The case had been solved, but it left a bitter taste in her mouth. Amanda's life had been stolen because of one man's obsession and another's weakness. And yet, the midnight call would forever echo in Pierce's mind, a reminder of how quickly life could be taken away, and how dark the shadows of human nature could become.
Make sure to subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon, and like the video.